Hi everyone, this is Jay from Firmware Adelaide. Today we're just gonna show you how to assemble your Guardian Lynx. Thanks for Dabros come with this name, and I love what they're doing. So they pay the original designer of a premium to thanks for his work. Doing the same, following their ideas. I think it's a good idea to support, and this will be the one we are disassembling today, just to show you how to do this, mainly how to swap the springs. Alright, let's get started now. Firstly, we're gonna just do this back end of things to make everything a bit easier. There's a way to quickly swap the springs, which I think is really helpful today. I'm just gonna use we'll give you one of the screwdrivers that seems about T10. A T9 would work. I believe this is labeled, there you go, T10, as you can see. A T10 screw. But that's what you need. I think T9 may work as well. If you have a bit, T9 should work. T10, T9, and this will be the screwdrivers you're looking for. Your package will come with one of those anyways. Alright, let's do it. And I'm just going to use an electrical tool to make everything a bit faster. If you find the suitable bits, you do the same. I think this particular model comes with a weaker spring, so there's not much pre-compression comes with it. When there is a bit of a pre-compression, when you get rid of all these screws, you want to be careful, because then you want to watch out. This part may come apart once these are pulled off. So yeah, you're looking at 10 from each side, and this part you can pull off. When you receive the parts, these may have the screws already on them, just to make everything a bit easier. So stock on the side about 10 screws. Quickly find a cap for all this. I think when Brad put this together, and he dropped the bits of thread glue on top of these. These four, which is slightly shorter, are for these here, so 2 on each side, and these 3 in the middle were slightly longer. Let me quickly measure them. So we're talking about a shorter one, which is here, so 4 by 9 to 8, and this is by 10, so M3 by 8 here, 4 by 10 here, 3 on each side, so 6. Okay, that's your 10 screws. And just gonna move along this assembly here. Pull this out. It comes with a spring here, so make sure you don't lose these. Here you will have you'll have 2 screws. By unscrewing those 2, you could detach the pusher. So let me do that very quickly. I found myself in the first process of assembly, these 2 screws are the first one that came loose and ended up scratching the top of the rails. So I would in the future yeah, put some thread locker just to help with this. You want to keep a bit of movement. Here we go. So that's just the pre-compression of the spring there. Take this part off. You can remove the barrel previously, you can leave it till now. Doesn't really matter. Spin depends on you. This is the default barrel. As you can tell, it's fairly long. Smart design for sure. Let's look into these earlier samples. These are early samples, so it may look different than what you finally receive. I've seen a very nice improvement that I think is definitely welcomed. And in these, which is the early models, your spring get contact directly into the plunger unit here. What I found in the long term is, and as you can tell here, has a lot of scratching marks. So let me grab one unit of a part of what you will be receiving. These new parts, instead of straight aluminum, this will have a pad, silicone pad on the end of the here. Under the light, it may be hard to see, but see that. And you also see this is just naked aluminum, right? So old model, this is the model you'll be receiving. All right, so news. And if you look at the old pusher, this is the scratching marks I was mentioning, right? The new ones come with these smaller pads, which you can just put it on there, so it will reduce the scratching. There's another way of doing this, which is put a bearing. It's a plain bearing in this. I found a really good plain bearing that suits this perfectly, and it will appear in our improved packs we're looking to get access into. But yeah, some improvements. Let's put it aside. So far, taking the pusher off. The pusher in this case is just here. And this is when you could look into, if you needed to change the O-rings. The default O-ring on here, I found it's perfect. So you don't have to do anything here. So that's your pusher unit. As for seal, I've found two suitable O-ring sizes that will work perfectly with the system. So I'll swap them, and it will come as a standard with all the Guardian Lynxes with seal to make sure you got a good seal. So moving on, I think the performance should be fairly good. Maybe need a little bit of a tweaking here and there. Most of the time it's actually really nice. But if here you were just to swap springs, that's pretty much all you need to do. Let's fit one of our springs inside. This is the one that have a bit of binding issue, so let's just get rid of that. We'll find a new screw, and we'll find a new spring. Alright, this is a new spring we fitted, which should fit slightly better than the original. Let's put one of this new silicone pad in there to reduce some of the wear. So this is what the old one has issue with, right? So if you just rubbing this off, okay, so there's just bits and pieces of aluminum, and that's what create a bit of a shavings. But yeah, and if you got your little shavings into your O-rings, and that's one it can have issues, and they're very sharp as well. So I'm glad that the models we're sending out solve this issue, so you don't have to worry about this anymore. Okay. And we're also gonna swap the O-rings on these as well. So let me grab the O-rings. Alright, in the O-ring pack you'll receive, you will see one of the slightly thicker O-rings and two of the slightly thinner O-rings. This one, thicker one, goes to here, and the two of the thinner O-rings, one goes on this end, one goes on the tube, which is here. The default black O-rings comes with them, can provide some sort of seal. With the default spring you'll receive a sort of mediocre seal, which is not the best. Here I actually want to show you the different lube and what they can do to the seal. I've been using those two because Bradley's recommendation as well. Inox M6 for us here down under, it's really thick and it doesn't really tend to move around in the system. Sometimes you use a lot of silicone oil or this one's super lubes, it just leaks everywhere. This tends to be more thicker, so it's good to be used as a sort of seal, as a grease, a really hardcore, heavy, thick, almost nasty type of grease. They're heavy and they will glue pretty much ear to anything that you smudge them to. So let me just give them a nice kind of thick smudge all around. Yeah, I'm quite new to this top-down view, so let's not forget to show what's going on. So just thick layer. This is the sealed end. This is where the plunger tube is gonna go. So I'm just gonna create a bunch of thick lube in there. And we might as well. This already got a bunch of them anyways. We might as well just get some more. Don't go too crazy, I guess, but you can just give it a nice and couple mil thick lube without making too much of a mess, hopefully. So I'm just gonna smudge a layer in there. You could always sort of just get rid of it later on when you have a paper towel next to you, rug. But let's just hopefully it's not too much. I'll make it beautiful, okay? I'll make it slightly better looking. How about that? Alright, so you just have to deal with it. You have to deal less with the issues later on. It's not a fully opened, fully closed, but then with this seal, you'll feel much more confident, right? Okay, here, it's it. And first and fit. My seal hopefully well. See, it's nice too. That's to make quite nice and beautiful. And just in there, and yeah, that's good. Where that long time? That's where I use actually it's not too about I think it's side up the same grease just create some hot sauce. It's just grease in there. And that's what we use. Not green seal. So like this like that. There's it. Yes. Nice. So it's because we're finding seal and some hot sauce over there. I find a lot of it. Really love this material. And I'm trying to use it. Nice seal. Here we go. Nice thick. Okay, man. That's my contract. It's soft right today. Let's get some of these in as well. Just help with the screen. Turn the inside. Here we go. And up here, I think this is actually good. This goes in. Plunger goes in. Alright. Now, there's a couple ways of doing this. And if you think how people put links together, they may do this. And to me, it comes with a bit of risk. But if you understand what it does, most of the time it should be fine. And please don't be a trigger finger. That is, you could basically prime it this way. A bit dangerous because it's a thicker spring, right? So what we're going to do is we can prime it by doing so. You may want some lube actually. So lube around. Alright, let's get it close. What I'm doing is I'm dripping a ring of super lube around the barrel. They're very watery, so it goes everywhere. And what am I doing is I'm just gonna prime it where there's nothing, at the back. Now this can be dangerous if you touch anywhere over the trigger. The other way of doing this is just go with the pre-compression. So if you don't want to prime it, which is a rather dangerous way because you make yourself a metal dot basically, you could just do this. Push with force, and you could finish the rest of the installation. Today we're gonna go safer way, okay? Safer, but you may need another person help, especially when you're pushing heavy spring here, okay? What you do is basically well, this pushed in, you can start screwing these modules in using those 3 screws. That will provide some sort of leverage to finish the rest. This comes with a fair bit of compression, so you want to be careful. You want to hold nice and firmly, and maybe ask your friends for help or use a table. But basically, while you're holding these parts, you could screw the side in there. It's one way of doing this, which you could get it down this way. But if you have someone that push from the other end, keeping this and the other end, holding it nicely, firmly together, you have a better result without risking. So here's my problem. It needs to be really strong. I'm basically sitting against the table while holding, using my left hand to hold this. You can't see this really, but I may show you in a picture of what I'm doing. Basically, I'm holding it against the table without the barrel inside because it will be hard to do so. And I'm just screwing the unit on the side, on the mag ball. I'm doing those 3 screws nicely. So when you prime it, you can see this rod is reaching out. Now what we need to do is just find a good position where we do through the top hole here. Push let's use a bit of grease. This stays a bit longer. Bit of grease. Yeah, that's enough. And then we're gonna do the thread lock this time. This is the shorter screws you want to use. Just a drip on the side. Should do it. From what I understand, they basically oxidate and expand. If it's not oxidate and expand, they do expand. Okay, towards the front of the master, and you could install them this way. So through the top hole here, your screwdriver. While I'm doing the one on the back first. Line them up perfectly. Good to the front, here we go. Don't forget there's 2 screws here, so you want to line the block perfectly up. I'm just lining up so the second one can just drop in and just be screwed in there. Alright, and then you can tighten them up and they should become semi-permanent with the thread lock we used today. Alright, now with how this one works, don't forget you can't really deprime it. There's ways of doing it. I don't really recommend doing them on this module. I would just suggest load the dart and find a soft target and get it out. I think that's the best way of doing things, which is I'm about to do. So just drop a dart in there. I'll just load. Find the soft things. Retrieve it. Alright, get it. Okay, that's how you change your spring, do your maintenance. And after this is done and you're happy, you could put this tail on there. Use the M3x8 screws. 2 here, the other side too. And that's it. That's how you swap your springs and doing normal maintenance on your Guardian Lynx. So in the combination of MX6 and a bit of super lube. Done. Enjoy your links. The next video I'll put out is about putting your J-links together, and we'll see you in the next one.